This is day 270 of Arukh HaShulchan Day. Today's learning is sponsored for the good health and or the right shidduch for Rabbi Yonasan Ezra Ben Chana Fagel. Bezos Hashem, may he find and enjoy both Hashta Bagola Ubizman Karif. If you would like to sponsor an upcoming share more of the Arukh HaShulchan Day, please contact me directly. It would be very much appreciated. Today we are doing Simon Kupe Zayin. Sif Gimel through Sim Kupe Zayin Sif Tes. Can you hear the end of the second chelik? Not for a while, but we're there. Okay. Gimel. Benusach Sfarad Yesh Kodem HaChasima Kamor Posei Ches Yodecha. When Nusach Sfarad it says before the closing the first bracha because the Muslim Posei Ches Yodecha B'Gomer. Chasva Kol She'in Nochel. Kabul says not appropriate to say it. How can we bring a pasuk that David said for a bracha that Moshe Rabbeinu put together? This is not compelling, says Beis Yosef. Okay, we find this a lot. What the Kabul really means is that it's like Yehuda. There's a saying in the Gemara. Yehuda v'Likra. You have the statement that this is the meaning of Yehuda. Hey, then you bring that pasuk afterwards. The pasuk should come first. And this is only in terms of Emunah that HaKadosh Baruch Hu sustains the entire world. And since Moshe Rabbeinu already put this in the bracha, Hashem sustains the entire world. Why do you need a raya from David that says Posei Ches Yodecha? Well, here it does. I guess that means Yehuda v'Od Likra. That I guess what it means is Yehuda v'Od Likra means that we made the Yehuda of an ode to the pasuk. Not that said before that the pasuk is an ode to the Yehuda, but rather Yehuda is an ode to a pasuk. And here the David is of an ode, which is superfluous, to the message of Moshe Rabbeinu. Ulanias daiti near b'kaman acheres b'osafazu. Arukh HaShulchan wants, I guess, mean Mitzchus in this Osofa and say that Hashem Yisbarach Yibir B'Teva Kol Ba'achai. Hashem Yisbarach put in the nature of any creature she has sus to sameach. They should be happy and rejoice at his mizonosah, his food, b'shim as ma'achal acher, and reject food which is not his food. Zeh kavanah mechim mazon l'chol b'yosef asher bara. He prepares the food for all his creatures that he created. Klomar shechin teva zeh ba'achai. He prepares the nature of this person specifically for this creature specifically for its sustenance. Maybe right as Mashamar David and brings evidence this that which David said Pasech v'gomer mazbil chol chay ratzon klamar shchol ba'achai molei ratzon mizonosav. There's a new pshat in this passage which I don't think I ever saw before. Pasech mazbil chol chay ratzon means you give every ba'achai a full his full desire. And his desire is fully completed by the sustenance which you allocated to him. Maybe it's a pasuk Rash Kenas Agamas Moshe Rabbeinu. I would bring this evidence that that's what Moshe Rabbeinu was trying to say. Also, when Hazar Salam Kulo B'Tuvot, that every Ba'achai is satisfied with its mazon. It says brackets. Hey. They don't mean bracha pasuk. You don't say a pasuk as the chasima of a bracha. The shama come on achar bracha because there that's the problem is where he said after the bracha. But afilu peirush acharedim sham shem Rabbi Eliezer the kohen kanim kohen acharedim who says before the chasima also. Here it's not relevant either because this pasuk is a shevach b'Kodesh Baruch Hu. And we see this is okay because in the pasuk in the next bracha benching we end with the pasuk b'chal etc. Now, b'chein v'chesed v'rachamim. Yesh korsim b'chein v'chesed u'v'rachamim. In other words, no vav on the b'chesed. The gam Torah matinu shevav ha'ituf eino lebasof. The vav which wraps everything together. I don't remember if I ever saw language before. So like the end, it's like the and in English. With sheep, with silver, and with gold. Nusach Shemana uverachamim, and our nusach Over Rachamim hu nosei lecha chol basar. Our girl says that our Mitzvah said Rachamim chem chesed Rachamim hu nosei lecha chol basar. V'yesh eino gores hu, and some people leave out the hu. Ella hu nosei lecha not hu, rather nosei lecha chol basar. Chem chesed Rachamim nosei lecha chol basar. B'nini rat. I think the Chosenim Mechubenes Yosef our nusach is more precise. The kavanah shel chen chesed b'rachamim. There's the intent of chen chesed b'rachamim nearly seems to me dinei shlosh majoros yesh bnei adam. The three levels of people. Yesh ashim gedolim. There are people who are very rich. V'zel b'chein, and this is a unique grace which they experience. Al derech v'noach masachein, because that's a noach found grace. Klamar hashpa yisera. A special additional influence. They're average. The bourgeoisie, average balabatim. Everything they need, they get relatively easily. But they don't have excesses. So kindness, Hashem gives them everything relatively easy. The poor people, that they get their bread with difficulty. With mercy. Rachamim is necessary when there is a midas adin. When there's din, you have to say berachamim. And then we say who? He gives bread to all flesh. Gives bread to all. All of these three categories. Each one according to their midah. For his chesed is eternal. Even a poor person gets it with difficulty, his food. It's in order to give him more reward in the world to come, or to deduct from his sins, or some other purpose. And also included in, he gives bread to all flesh, all creatures besides human beings. Therefore, it's important. This is relevant to say who. The same entity which gives sustenance to a person, who knows he gives sustenance to any creature. When my daughter graduated elementary school, the Menaheles was not so pleased with her class, because my daughter Chas v'Shalom, and she said the graduation, I was not there, but I don't think I was there. I think my wife told me, but in any event, maybe this is a different occasion. She said, some of you are graduating b'chein. Some of you are graduating b'chesed. And some of you are graduating b'rachamim. Some of you are graduating with ease and grace. Some of you are graduating being kind to you. And some require great mercy in order to graduate. It's a great line. Okay. Hey, uvtuva gadol lo chasar lonu. In his great goodness, he never causes to lack. Haches b'chamatz v'samach b'pasach lo chasar lonu ba'ayechsar lonu hayud b'segov haches b'shvanach hayechsar. B'yeshu, some say lo chiser lonu. It's what they say not lo chasar but lo chiser lonu. Deprive of us haches b'chirik ba'ayechsar lonu hayud b'shva. That it would be yechaser lonu. Because we would say the first way in that is the primary way to say it. The Shloh HaKodesh says that. Yesh gorsim ki hu zanu mefarnes. That part goes on the next line. As I point out very often, it could go on the previous line too. It's like fresh eno achre. It's like you say period. You also say, like he seems to here, Bavush Mogadol, tell me kill Zan Finance Sakov. Right? In other words, the Bavush Mogadol can go on either line. Yeshkor, but Arukh goes that says Yeshkor sing Kihuzon. Bush Mogadol, not Kihu Kelzon, but Kihuzon in Farnes. Zon Bachila, it sustains with food, and Farnes Shayotzorim, and gives he feeds with food and sustains with other needs. Zon Farnes Akol umetiv lakol b'cholam. This is you say the kol with a cholam. Oh, b'chimazon l'chol v'chulei b'kamatz. L'kol in this case is with a kamatz, not with a cholam. Kol, not kol. to samach lebriosav because it's a juxtaposed to briosav. Mashenka koyim as opposed to the previous lakols, shem yifon would stand on their own. So when it's smichos, you say lakol. When it's on its own, you say lakol. Yesh kosim tevogdol imanu tamid. Some will say with his great goodness with us always. Ve'enam yushav is not so clear. Kelo to tevogdol al kol olam. Why would you say imanu? We say uvtevogdol tamid lo chasalim, but the imanu seems to localize his goodness. But it's al kol olam. Learn about it. So everybody, not just us. But noach you'll say below imanu. It's better to say without imanu. Kumar tevogdol shal kol olam. When there's great goodness which the entire world, Tami Locha Salonu, there's nothing ever like this, because we're also including the entire world. Briosav Habeis Bechirik Katan Faresh Nach. Not sure what Kirik Katan is, but anyway it says Yeshemrim Habeis Beshva and Faresh Bechirik, which is the way we say Briosav. Vav Kasav Atur. Say the first bracha he said, blessed in Aramaic, blessed is the merciful one, the king of the king, master of this bread. You were Yotze. Mishabura the Sharatzim say sorry about bracha Rishoina, the bracha before eating, but other bracha not because Samozon, and if you don't see other brachas. This doesn't work. Whether this doesn't work, says look elsewhere. In any event, back to Arukh HaShulchan Day. I have to say the Kavanasuk Sha'amar Malka de Alma. So I have to say Malka. You have to say Malka de Alma Melech HaOlam. So the Kavanasuk Meshudal came on the call. Bracha Shlomar Bar Melech HaOlam. If you don't say Melech HaOlam in a bracha, ain't a bracha. It's not about bracha in Sham. Miatur Lo. He's Kir Zesham. The Torah doesn't mention that there. Doesn't mention Alma. This is the definitely also way of a rash, but he there it's granted he argues in this substitution for the first bracha because it's granted brachas must be said in any language. It has to be said like Chachamim instituted. It has to begin and end with the baruch. The zon kula, if you made the beginning, the psicha and the chasima in Aramaic, you would say. But need to have a psicha and a chasima. Even this is called deviating from the formula Chachamim instituted. That's a tour to moi. And the tour is difficult in that he leaves out the chasima. The Tzedakah might feel to be ever in Chasim Maki. It was very difficult to say that he holds it, but the signature of the bracha is not required. The Mishnah Berurah nevertheless does say that the Torah holds that even though we hold you're not allowed to not sign of a bracha, nevertheless be ever you are Yotze. Longest brackets here. But nearly that Torah speaks about his bracha says only my be'er kutzara. He wants to be mechadish that according to the Torah the bracha bazon is not. It's a bracha ketzara, even though it seems like a bracha arucha. B'Yushalem peragav v'lochem makshe b'em esarei hazon b'nishar b'kusha and sham. I guess the Gemara Yerushalmi is asking, excuse me, isn't hazon a bracha ketzara? Near the Mishul Moshe Tekin, because the rak birchas hazon. It's perhaps because Moshe himself only made the bracha hazon. And the rest of Benjamin came later. L'chein came by chasima. Therefore, he put in the chasima not because it's necessary, but rather because it is the signing off the one bracha Benjamin. Abdullah has the chasima and a psicha. So then, even when they added on more brachas, they didn't take away the chasima. They were going to yotzi without the chasima viduk. Zay bracha shniya brachas aretz. Veina posachas, but baruch doesn't open the baruch. Neshis muchla brachas hazon because it's juxtaposed to hazon. Brachas muchla brach doesn't have to open the baruch. Because vatur the Ram Ruth b'chayim know the Hashem Elokeinu. It say thank and we will thank you God our Lord. No del lecha. And I would say no lecha and not no del lecha. It says one word, not two words. The mashma no del lecha as ploni because he says no del lecha means. Will thank you together with somebody else. But Minhag came. But the Minhag is to say no Dilcha. But the Croxy, besides the Pasuk, no Dilcha L'Om, Dover Don Saper Del Secha. Pasuk until 9 Tes. And Kalashona. Vamna Gamatzino, Yodu Hashem Kol Masecha. It's true, you find one word. Not Yodu L'Cha Hashem Kol Masecha, but Yodu Hashem Kol Masecha. And Od Cha Kin Sunny, not Od L'Cha Kin Sunny. Eliatavo Deka. Barbekim B'Tilim. Ukra no L'Cha L'Olam Matzino Rak Pam Achas. And no L'Cha is a usage you only find one time. So Tamash Ram, and that's the reason for my Ram Rutenberg. Come Minik Hatur Ben Kapeda, and the Minik is like we do know the L'Cha. There's no real Kapeda either way. Either way works. But our Minik is our Minik. Ches, Minuslas Birchas Amazon Shah, Rambam no L'Cha V'chuli Shin Chalta Lavosenu, you bequeath to our forefathers Eretz Chemda Tober Chava, a land which is precious, good, expansive, bris v'Torah, covenant and Torah of Al-Shot Sanu, and that you took us out of Egypt, etc. He has elaboration which we have today on the bris which you stamped on our flesh, and on the Torah which you taught us. And it's enough to mention it once. Not sure what he means by that. But the minig is like the Rosh. Oh, I see. He says that according to the Rambam, you say and then you say again Bris Torah at the end. So he says you don't have to say it twice. That's me. Im Lois Kibar Brachos of Bris Torah. If he didn't mention Bris Torah, his brother was there, so make you go back and say it. Misharatzion says if you remember before Rachem Noah, maybe you should say Bris and Torah between the brachos. But he says Sarachim. Because the Ramah says in Nashim Abadim Loyim were Bris and Torah, women and slaves should not say Bris and Torah. Nashim Einim and Bris, women are not in Bris. Abadim Einim and Torah. Akan Lashono. Well, it's a bit difficult. Nashim and Torah, women are also not in Torah. Aval Meir Nashim Einim Medalgos Bris and Torah. The custom they don't skip it. Torah Vashim so Tam is him. Evidently, this bothers him looking for him immensely. But there's okay, they don't have to say that like Perushim, but there's no problem to say it. The Perushim Bris and Torah Kasvu, when we say that meaning of Bris and Torah is Shenimo Avram, when Avram got Bris and Torah, it's a Bris. Hashem made a little comment. Torah, and when he gave him the Torah. Well, he gave the Torah to the Jewish people. He gave them the land. He gave them the lands of the non-Jews in order they should keep his laws and they preserve his Torah. So this closest to Hashem, which was earned at the time of Avram's bris and Mountain Torah, also women experience. They explained the reason why they also benefit from having a land. Is Giselle Mizman Bris and Torah that came from the time of Bris and Torah. And it means all of us, as part of the Jewish nation, had this benefit. Roshan says he found something like this in the Prisha. Test v'yesh bracha zu hadot chil b'sof. In this bracha, there's thankfulness in the beginning and at the end. Shebesovrin gamkin ba'al hakol v'chulei. V'nachlu modim loch v'chulei. V'lomar hodot chila b'sof. So he didn't say no at the beginning and ba'al hakol at the end. Make you go back. Birloga writes the name Rokeach about a tiny bit. Yeah, but you don't say, even though he said hodot once. V'yeshim onu modim loch. Some say, we thank you. Anachnu. So it's better to say Anachnu. But only Yeshbo Loshon, Gam Loshon is Anu has a negative ramification, connotation of Aninus. Its openings will be in mourning. The fisherman will be in mourning. You feed us and sustain us constantly, every day, every time period and every hour. He says, what's a time period? Esu Reva Yom. I did not know that. Ace is a quarter of a day, 6 hours. The Dali Dim Shtaim there for eating every day, which are Miboger Chatzion from morning until noon, Michatzion Malayla from noon until night, Michem Malayla, and so to night also for 2 more itos. V'lini that is all from the Rabbi, I guess. But the Arukh HaShulchan says the ace ukma ona b'loshen Gemara. No, he says ace is like the Gemara calls ona in halacha. You beish to 12 hours. Furthermore, the ace who are kor v'chom kites v'chorev. Ace also goes on the seasons, cold and heat, summer and winter. Tzarchim, I have to say sho'ato, not she'ato. Sho'ato Hashem b'kamatz gadol. In order to expand the aleph. I guess sho'ato. I don't know how exactly it expands the aleph. Instead of she'ato, sho'ato. I don't know how it expands it. Hey, we kind of could put them on al nisim kodim al kol. I put of course al nisim in the middle. Being lo amro a machzir and say don't go back. Come nevertheless yachol omer can say b'socha rachamon. The omer can say rachamon. Yes, al nisim flows k'moj also la'asis la'avos seinu. 2 miracles that he did to our forefathers. Vayin kam seem to tafrei beish. You want befi kol chai, v'lo befech kol chai. Interesting because we also still issue by Baruch Shamar. And many people there say befeh, but here he says to say befi, and I say befi by both. Okay.